Hi there, it's Sam from Pootles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today's project is this one. It's a lidded pen pot. Now, if anybody knows me, knows I'm a bit of a pen addict. So I made this little lidded pen pot, and it will hold pretty much any kind of standard pens. It will definitely hold our journaling pens with a little bit of room at the top. Let me compare it up the side. So a little bit of room at the top there. It will hold Pilot friction pens, which I'm addicted to. How many can we fit in there? Let's just grab a handful. 6. Oh! 7, 8. 8, and they usually come in sets of 8. I know because I have them all, well, most of them. And I love pens, and I love gifting pens, and I would love receiving pens. So I decided I was going to make a nice little pretty pen pot. But you don't have to just, you know, put pens inside. The finished dimensions of this box, 1.5 by 1.5 inches by 6 inches tall, so 4 by 4 by 15 centimetres tall. And my bow's gone a bit squibbly. Let's just tuck that under there. But I'm going to show you how to make it. I'm going to use the same paper pack, different colourway. So this is Melon Mambo with English Garden. So I'm going to use English Garden again, but I'm going to use Mint Macaroon, or Macaron, this time. For the base, you need a piece of cardstock that's 7.5 by 6.5 inches, 19 by 17 centimetres. And for the lid, 4 9/16 of an inch by 4 9/16 of an inch, so smidgen over 4.5 inches, 12.3 by 12.3 centimetres. We're going to score on the long side just the once at 1.5 inches at 4 centimetres. Turn it round and onto the short side, score it every 1.5 inches, every 4 centimetres, so 1.5, 3, 4.5 and 6, or 4, 8, 12 and 16. That's the box base. And then the lid, like I said, 4 9/16 of an inch by 4 9/16 of an inch, 12.3 by 12.3. Score it on all 4 sides at 1.5 inches, 4 centimetres. Okay. Right. First things first. We want to get the DSP on there. We want to fold and burnish these score lines. I would put the DSP on because actually that then means when you score everything, you're going to push it on a little bit harder. So I've got this pattern pack. It's English Garden, different pattern, and I have got apparently not enough pieces. Oh no! Oh dear. Where's my other piece? I swear I cut them all. I think I'll have to cut another. Well, they measure 1.25 by 1.25 inches, 3.5 by 3.5 centimetres. I better put the paper back. There it is. And the long ones are 1.25 by 4.25 inches, which is 3.5 by 10.25. So let's trim off another bit. I think everything landed on the floor. Because it's paper. There we go. I now have everything I need. Okay, so these are going to go on these 4 squares here. So fold them over. I'm just going to grab my snail. So these are going on the lid, but not the top of the lid. I did think about doing it, and then when I stuck the bow on, I just thought, well, it was a good job I didn't, because you wouldn't have seen it. One side, and then these parts, they're going to stick down towards the bottom of the box, because obviously if I bring the other one in, the lid sits flush to the top. You're not going to see the top part, so these are going to stick towards the bottom, so make sure you've just got an equidistant gap all the way around. And apparently I have a cough today. That's great. And just keep putting them on. Oops. Not that I particularly have paper peeling off ever, but I know that sometimes if you use a lesser quality glue, your paper starts peeling. So I wanted to show you a different technique to get your paper to stick down. Now we're going to fold and burnish these score lines, and that is just kind of reinforcing the glue. So although I know snail is absolutely fine, if you're using unbranded contraband snail type stuff, you're just giving it a bit of extra oomph. And the same over here, fold and burnish these score lines all the way around, and done. So okay, to cut the lid to stick, we're going to go in a rotating fashion. So cut straight up one square and then cut into the outer corner there, and trim a little off. Doesn't have to be loads, but just a little. And then I rotate it at that point. And the same, and then just rotate around again, so you do it on all four. So that's the lid done, so you end up with that shape. And then the box itself, you need to get rid of this little skinny one. And then just cut straight up the other three. And I'm going to run my fuse down here. And then fold in the sides, then the back, which is where the seam is. A bit more fuse there. So that's the box where you put your pens in, gorgeous pens in there. And then I'm going to put fuse on these parts as well. To stick my lid together. And the lid will sit snugly over the top and doesn't fall off. I reckon, yeah, if you shook it, it would, but it's not going to fall off anytime soon. So, just to finish, tiny little bit of punching. I'm going to take 3 petite petals and mint macaroon, elevate them and pop a centre into them. You don't have to put this, you could put a pen sentiment? I don't know what I was thinking. A sentiment to do with writing. Something like that, or whatever you've got going inside. You attach that on as well. You know, the whole point about my boxes is I just design the skeleton of it, you design the look. I do love to see it when everybody shows me their decorations, particularly in my Facebook group. If you haven't come across it, it's PootlesPapercraft forum on Facebook. Public group, anybody can join it, and we get lots of projects shared. I've just put that on the side of the box. Oh well, we'll pretend it was on the lid. And then this is the stitch satin seam binding ribbon. And let's hold our fingers that I can get this bow tied. I've been sent lots and lots of videos on how to tie bows and stuff. You're all stars, you keep sending me these videos. Most of them, however, are for when you're not attaching a bow to something. Sorry, you're not tying the bow on the box. But I'm getting there. Look! That's not too shabby, is it? And then just trim off a little. Actually, that's okay outside. And that's the box made. A pretty little pen box. Do you know what? That one on camera, way better than that bow. That's terrible. I'll sort that out. Anyway, thank you ever so much for joining me, and I hope to speak to you soon.